What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I'm your hostess, doing the mostest, Kivonshi, and we are here with the highly anticipated new Hulu series brought to you by 20th Century Studios, Paradise, starring the one and only Sterling K. Brown. Y'all, oh my God. First and foremost, thank you so much, Hulu / Disney, for honoring me with the opportunity to screen the series. Super excited about that. Brr, 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 brr. Y'all. The first 3 episodes are here. What do we think? Right? So, obviously, as you could tell by like the title, and you know, if you're watching this on YouTube, the thumbnail, we're gonna be talking about the first 3 episodes a little bit and just giving my review on the season. And then, guys, I won't do this show weekly, but I will be back for the season finale, where we're going to talk about everything. We're going to go over all the stuff that happened, the spoilers and all this other stuff, and we are going to get to the bottom of whatever the hell is going on in Paradise. So let's just jump into it. So y'all already know the first 3 episodes are out. What do we think? Okay, did we think that the first episode would start with murder? Okay, no, we probably did not. And yet here we are going down this rabbit hole to try to figure out who done it, right? And one of the things that I love about this series is that it's very much like live action Clue, but not in a Knives Out way, just in a very like White House Down, Olympus Has Fallen way. And I love that so much. Talking about like 6 degrees of separation, the way the threads and the way that plots and everything just all come back, and the way that they all connect is absolutely insane. Another thing that I love about the series has nothing to do with the show technically at all, but whoever is their chief marketing officer and their social media manager, A1. The way that they've been on Instagram and putting out like different videos, different reels, different questions, and making it seem like you're in like this secret operation. Even when they first launched their Instagram account, you had to request them because it was a private account, and just having like, oh, many will request, but only a few will be let in. The way that they kind of rolled everything out, when you would try to share any of their content, you could not add it to your story. So like you could share it to like other people within Instagram, like as a message or whatever, but you couldn't share it to your story. So the secrecy of it all, just through social media marketing, matching the secrecy and the thrill and the suspense of the TV show, top tier, A1, 10 out of 10, no notes. Okay. So what is Paradise even about? Well, it's 8 episodes, okay? First 3 episodes are going to be out now, if you're watching this, and then they're going to release weekly, episodically. So the logline just simply says, a security service team is tasked with protecting a past president. If you've watched episodes 1 through 3, and some people be watching my podcast before watching the show, so I'm gonna try not to give away too much, but if you're watching it, then you will definitely know that this is some sort of like post-natural disaster, post-apocalyptic type of situation where we are heavily involved in how the president and the Secret Service and Congress in general responds to natural disasters, and what does the state of the world, and not even just the world itself, but what does the American citizens even look like, and how do we get through the situation, and how do we overcome something that is devastating and what's the other word I'm looking for? And disastrous. I'm like, I know there's another D word. So devastating and disastrous, right? But of course, you know, just when it comes to politics, when it comes to information given to the people of any state, regardless of what country that you're in, there's always going to be secrets. There's always going to be information that is withheld from the public just to prevent panic, to prevent mutiny, to prevent just very dangerous riots and stuff like that. And so this is kind of like the state that you kind of see things fluctuating between episodes 1 and 3. Like, what's going on? Why did it happen? Who did what? And ultimately, who can you trust? So the series stars Sterling K. Brown, of course, James Marsden, Krys Marshall, Julianne Nicholson, Sarah Shahi. So these are our main players. These are our main characters. There are quite a few directors for this. We have Hanelle, Culpepper, Glenn Ficarra, John Requa, and Stephen Williams. And each of the directors directed 2 episodes each for a total of 8 episodes. And the creator and the writer of the show is Dan Fogelman, okay? So as far as episodes 1 through 3 go, and I'm looking at notes and stuff if you're watching me, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes on. So a prominent figure in the community is found deceased, and we are on the hunt to figure out who did it, especially in a space where for the longest amount of time violence or anything like that is not something that you would have to deal with. So now we have this big thing that has happened in this space where everybody's supposed to feel safe, everybody's supposed to feel secure, and this event has just unfolded so many other things. Obviously, we are getting to the point of who are our suspects, what are the motivations and the intent behind committing this crime. And in this, we find that everything is not as pure as it seems to be. One thing that I really love about the series is that everything is high stakes from beginning to end. Like, you're on edge the entire time, and the reason you feel on edge is because of the performance that Sterling K. Brown delivers as Agent Xavier Collins. When you meet Agent Xavier Collins in episode 1, off a rip, you already know, like, he is on edge and he is not completely sold. Like, he's disgruntled, he's upset, he's hurt by something. And so because the main character is kind of like working in this high anxiety and high stress situation, you as the viewer are also stressed out because you're trying to figure out, like, okay, well, everybody else around you is like having a good time, why aren't you? And so because his antennas are up, you as a viewer, your antennas are up immediately. So it feels like you are also a part of the Secret Service, you know what I mean? And then we have the other individuals, especially James Marsden. I can say that I've watched James Marsden in a lot of things that weren't necessarily drama centered. Obviously, I watched him in X-Men as Cyclops. Obviously, I watched him, what was it called? It's the one with, was it Isla Fisher? And they are in the cartoon and they come to life. I, for some reason, Never Ending Story is in my head, and I don't know if that's correct. Somebody tell me in the comments. I don't feel like looking it up. Somebody tell me in the comments. But we've seen him kind of in like emotional comedies. X-Men is not like an emotional comedy, but Cyclops is a written character, and so you're kind of working within the confines of what's already written in the comics, with some liberties taken in the writer's room as you're turning this comic into a movie. But I will say that this is one of the most riveting and powerful performances that I've ever seen by James Marsden, like, period. And he's been in the game for over 30 years, and so to have him in a show like this, where he's not the one cracking the jokes or trying to relieve the tension in the room, and you get to see him in this different light, in this high stakes drama slash thriller, it was very, very riveting to watch. Obviously my review, if you can't tell by the palpitating energy from my voice, obviously I want this to be renewed for another season. I don't see this being like a 10 season type of thing, but I really do hope that the writers have like a 4 or 5 season like clear picture of like where we're going with this. I wouldn't mind a 3 seasoner either. I wouldn't mind that. Sterling K. Brown delivers such a great performance in this. I know we see a lot of roles of his where we kind of like merge like fatherhood with the way that he feels in his own career and stuff like that, and like self-identity. And this is one of those roles that's kind of like an echo of this, but in a different light. I want to say my first time really seeing Sterling K. Brown in anything that was kind of like action, where he was physically involved in some things, was him in Black Panther. And to see like all of his other roles, I love watching him. I love what he brings to me. Honestly, he's like the male Viola Davis. Like, he's the male Viola Davis, just in what he brings to every character. And fun fact, his first credited role was in Brown Sugar, and I was like, what? Let me go back and see, because I don't have him in my memories of this. But to even go from there to Agent Xavier Collins in Paradise is so amazing. So I think it's really beautiful to see him in a role that's still connected to something that is very positive when it comes to fatherhood, and particularly Black fatherhood, being a husband and a provider and a protector, but also doing it in a way, like I said, it reminds me kind of like White House Down, where you're kind of getting this action version of Sterling K. Brown in the Secret Service agent of Xavier Collins. Now, somebody who y'all need to be watching is Krys Marshall. So Krys Marshall plays Agent Robinson in here. And fun fact, so I was going through just filmography. So when I say filmography, I'm also including television and stuff like that, as I was preparing for interviews for some of the cast members. No, I haven't gotten anything interviewed yet, but I feel like my motto is stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. Like, I don't know when opportunities will drop into my lap, and the last few months I've been waking up to different things. So as I was going through my deep dive and just trying to like see, like, you know, what's in their past, you know, what stuff have they done, you know, as I'm prepping to like watch questions and stuff to ask, I thought it was very cool that Krys Marshall and Sterling K. Brown have like some crossovers in their own careers. So obviously Sterling K. Brown was on This Is Us, but he also had some episodes in NCIS, and so has Krys Marshall. She's been in NCIS, and she was in some flashback episodes in This Is Us. So definitely cool to see them both on screen together, acting alongside of one another. Okay, now in these scenarios, Agent Robinson, she don't play no games. She don't play no games, and she is not here for it. And in episodes 1 through 3, you really see like a little bit of tension and maybe like a minor beef between Xavier and Agent Robinson. And so it's just kind of like, okay, what is going on? And we kind of know that a little bit of the chip on Xavier Collins' shoulder is because of the nature of the relationship between Agent Robinson and the president of the United States. So it's already kind of like a little bit of judgment in there, but the way that Agent Robinson reacts, it just feels very much like whatever their history was before this is bleeding into this, and we haven't squashed any type of beef. Okay, like we ain't squashed nothing. Okay, now in all of this, we're trying to find some normalcy. You know, we see Xavier with Agent Billy Pace, and it seems like there's some besties going on. You know, the kids call him Uncle Billy and everything like that. But with the situation that's going down, I think the writers did such a really good job at making you look at everybody and be like, okay, everybody is a suspect. Nobody is like off limits. And in these episodes, you get these conversations, you really don't know what they're referring to. What are we hiding? Why did these things go down for a couple of hours and then it came back up? Why were you the last person to see them? And why were you coming out of this room at this time? So immediately, especially with 8 episodes, like we gotta sell the story, but we also gotta like get into the story as well. It's only 8 episodes, okay? And I don't know that this is getting pushed as a limited series, so yeah. So I think the pacing is just also really nice in the way that things unfolded in these first 3 episodes. Now, do I feel that Hulu kind of like punched us in the chest in the way that they came out of the gate? You could have just gave us like 2 episodes. 3 of them? Are you serious? I feel like I'm on the hunt. I feel like I got my notebook out, my pen, I got my lawyer hat on, I got my investigator hat on, like I got my just being a woman and being able to search and go through social media hat on. Like we will find everything, like who did it. And to have like this cat and mouse version, but on like the scale that's beyond things. It's like multiple cats, multiple mice. What do you believe? Who do you believe? Who's on your team and who's not? It's wild. And then I will say also, for some reason, we've been getting like some interesting type of post-apocalyptic shows where the point of view is vastly different. I know one of the latest ones that came out is Earth Abides. Like that point of view is about like, what will we do and how can we be different? And in Paradise, the point of view is still very much rooted in old practices, old ideologies, old laws and things where we're holding on to practices and we're holding on to a way of life, and nobody's questioning if that way of life has space or agency in the way forward. So outside of the action, outside of the thriller, outside of the secrets, you really get to see, you know, what does America look like when faced with catastrophe. And will leaning on things like the Constitution, the way that we do laws and such, will that have a place moving forward? Will it even be something that people even believe in anymore? Or will we be able to establish something completely new to recreate a life that can be peaceful, right? But as we ask ourselves these questions, clearly we see just even out the gate in the first episode, can we even have peace? Can we even have peace when there is no honesty and when people will kill to keep the truth buried? So my soft recap and review of, excuse me, sir, I'm recording. I'm recording. Thank you. It's midnight. Thank you so much. My soft recap and review of Paradise. So overall, my thoughts, I was on the edge of my seat. My heart rate was up every episode. It is so good. Definitely will give this a 10 out of 10. It's just, and I mean, I could be generous, I could be being biased, but I'm not really comparing it to anything else other than the fact that it blew me away. The performances by every actor, even I don't want to say side characters, but even the non-main actors, like, you're really bought in and brought in to this space where you question reality now. And I found myself at the end of the episodes just really, like, genuinely, like, looking around my own personal space and being like, how would I be if I had no other choice? And I'm just really enjoying that we get to go through this with Agent Collins and Agent Robinson, and we get to go through all of these things where we are questioning the government, questioning what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and trying to get to the truth of our existence. And with that, it's also being given to us, and that message is being given to us, and we're receiving it in a space that, again, is high stakes. You're questioning and you have no idea what's going on, and at the end of every episode you're propelled to continue to go to the other episode. And I truly think that when y'all watch this, you will be talking about it long after the 8th episode even airs. So with that, Paradise will be airing every Tuesday, released on Hulu, midnight Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I live in the mountain zones, so I get to see it on Monday. I don't have to, like, stay up super late living on the East Coast, and I can still get a few hours to, like, sleep and get ready for work the next day. So yeah. What else? Yeah, so every Tuesday midnight Eastern Standard Time, it will be released on Hulu. So if you brave, go ahead and stay up. All of my East Coasters, honestly, it's worth it. Everybody else, you get a little bit reprieve with the time zones. And like I said, I wanted to just come here and just give my review, talk about the first 3 episodes. Again, I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody who be watching my stuff before they go watch the TV show. So I hope you go and watch it. And the finale will be airing on March 4th. Episode 8 will be airing on March 4th. I will be back for a full recap of the season, play-by-play, as well as a recap of the finale and anything else, Kivanchi, anything. I think that's it. Manifesting some interviews with the cast, but if not, it really doesn't matter. I'm a fan of everybody and I love what I do, and I hope y'all love this show as much as I do. And with that, as always, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments in the comments box below. If you watched episodes 1 through 3, comment in the box. We need to talk about it. And of course, if you got people that don't watch my YouTube channel, make sure you share that link on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, circling back to my other social media, you can find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where I talk about all types of film and television news. And you can find me on Twitter as well as Blue Sky Social at Kivanchi. And with that, I will catch y'all in the next episode. And don't forget, I will be back for the finale of Paradise, March 4th, here. Do not miss it. I promise you, this season is going to blow your mind. and I'm out.